Majid and Douglas both said something that resonated very strongly for me, which is, if I am endangered by saying these things, what is it like for somebody who doesn't have the position that I have to say them? And I went through this exact thing. When I decided to challenge the phony equity coalition at Evergreen, I thought explicitly, I discussed with Heather the fact that I believed my record was so clean on the topic of race and that I had everything I needed to defend myself, that I was in fact safe enough to take the risk. What I now know is that I would have been annihilated but for Dave Rubin, Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, and Eric, and that those forces actually produced enough counter-narrative online to save me from what would have been my fate absent those mechanisms. So that is a very important discovery, and I think what it says is that most people actually simply do not have the firepower, they don't have the record that will allow them to defend themselves against some of these stigmas, and what is necessary is that we figure out how to engineer our way around that problem.
But Douglas has been, waiting patiently,
just to say,
looking at me.
I was about to make the same point as Bret was going to make, but just to refine it this way, I mean, the reason why so many people are going mad is, yes, we haven't found a way to deal with speaking to the world. I mean, it is impossible to find a manner of speaking which could simultaneously be you and a few people in a room, you and the people at your dinner, and possibly everyone in the world. It's jokes are the most obvious one. There is no joke so funny that it can be repeated to everybody in the world all the time.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
And if there's, and we all know most jokes have some edge somewhere. Most of them are not going to last 5 years, let alone et cetera, et cetera. So jokes are the obvious one. The other one is, and I was very worried by what Sam said about that, about the same self-censorship, or not self-censorship, but that thing of stepping back slightly, because what is the problem for politics in all of our countries at the moment? What has produced this backlash in politics? It's that we've had a generation of politicians who can never say anything meaningful in front of people. I mean, I spend a certain amount of my life on shows with politicians, and I know, and Majid knows, that basically you see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
The aim is to survive the next half hour without plausibly or otherwise being accused of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, or something else. And you can see it in the other politicians. There's no meaningful win. The hope is that the other person says something which allows you to say, I think that's quite offensive to X group of people. And then the person goes, oh no. And then they're on the ropes and you got them. And if you get enough other people, you destroy them and they're dead. And that's it. And the point is that this is why politicians can't say anything.
This could be your effect on these politicians. But,
yeah, it may be. But the point is that this is why politics is going bad, because you can't tell any truth to that kind of audience. Now, the problem is, if down from politicians, or up from politicians maybe, you have the same effect, that the rest of the world also suffers the problem that politicians have of how to speak to everyone all the time.